Let me give you an example of the difference between the B quadrant and the E and S quadrants. About 3 hours north of here in Michigan, we have the Mackinac Bridge. And the Mackinac Bridge is a system. It has a system for transporting cars from the lower peninsula to the upper peninsula, or the upper peninsula to the lower peninsula. And before they had that bridge, they used to have to use ferries or barges in order to load up all kinds of cars and then transport them over to the upper peninsula or vice versa. And you can see, just imagine how much longer it took and how much more work that it took doing the barges and ferries. And so some entrepreneur said, you know, there's got to be a simpler way. Perhaps I could build a system, a bridge that would be able to take care of the work and I wouldn't have to be there barging cars back and forth all the time. Well, many of us in life are like that barge. In order for us to make money, we've got to be on that barge taking the cars back and forth. But a B business owner, by developing people and systems, has created that bridge, and he's hired people, and he has employees working for him. So now he's got a system, and the employees are collecting the tolls at $3 a pop. All those cars going across are earning $3. But here's the catch. It took 3.5 years to build that Mackinac Bridge. Now, most of us don't have that long-term thinking. We're like, can you imagine 2 years into the project and someone coming up to you, well, how many tolls have you collected on this bridge? And you tell them nothing. In fact, I've invested all kinds of money to build this bridge and I haven't collected one $3 toll. At first, it sounds crazy, ludicrous. But over time, if you recognize the long-term vision, delayed gratification in order to get to the utilize the power compounding. By the time that bridge was in place, now can you imagine, since we've been talking, how many cars have been going across that bridge, and $3 at a pop is being collected and coming into a compounding, a leverage effect going on because that business owner had that long-term vision. And that is the key to creating wealth, is you must be able to have that long-term vision to create a system, because systems do not and are not created overnight. So many people will start building a B business, but because they don't have that long-term vision, they'll get halfway through a bridge, get disappointed because they're not making the type of money they wanted, and go back to barging in life and load up their cars and show the quick, fast money. But I'm not interested in fast money. In fact, I'm not interested in any money that I have to show up again in order to do. That's what I love about the Monavie team. By building this business, not in the barge technique, which I call pin working, but building it in the bridge technique, which I call networking. By building large network, tens of thousands of people, you help tens of thousands of people do a little, it ends up being a lot. If you don't help tens of thousands of people doing a little, which adds up to a lot, you end up having to do a lot because you're that barge trying to transport all those cars across. So the key, in my opinion, to building a large network is developing your people skills, developing your leadership, and building bridges with people. That's the relationship side. You are either going to be a networker or you're going to be a pin worker. I'm not interested in having a pin that I hit once and not repeat it year after year after year. If you build it through relationships and building a bridge, then you not only hit the same levels or higher every year, but you have that passive income, that making money while you sleep that we were talking about earlier. And that's the key. So the 3 keys to wealth tie right in. If you're going to build a bridge, understand it's going to take a little bit longer, but when it's done, cars 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later will still be going across that system. Just as Ray Kroc has created passive income that even though he's passed away, even though Joan Kroc has passed away, the McDonald's Foundation still has money flowing into it because of the system they created. Let's go a little further into this bridge building analogy. For example, if you have a bridge and you could line up 100 people and walk them across this bridge, by the time you get to 100 person, the first person's finally making it to the other side, it would be real easy to criticize the business and say, yeah, but only one person out of 100 ever made it across that bridge. And the important thing is in order to learn this business, you're going to have to walk across the bridge before you start building bridges, because we want you to plug into training and start to learn from our CDs and learn from our books and start to buy the Monavie product and start to learn about the value associated with that product. So there's going to be a training in this business just like there is any business. The key that there is a velocity. It's the speed at which people are able to go across the bridge so that they can start building their own bridge. It's easy to criticize a business, but if there's hundreds of people getting across the bridge and able to start their own bridge and start to realize an income, whether it's a gold or above type income, they can start getting serious financial results for the work performed. Now what happens on a lot of cases is that some people will build a bridge, and if a business isn't growing, you get 100 people on that bridge, but nobody's ever getting across. It would be like having a traffic jam on the bridge. And if there's a traffic jam, people are trying to get on the bridge and people are falling off the side into the water, but no one's getting across and actually accomplishing success. One of the most important things as a leader is I make sure that there's people getting across that bridge. We want to make sure the system works. In other words, if people start that in a year or 2-year period, they're starting to realize some of their goals and dreams because they plugged in and did the team system. Just as if you started McDonald's, you would expect to have an investment, you'd expect to do some work, but you certainly want a result based upon that investment. And I think that is the biggest secret of the Monavie team, is that when people get started, by following the pattern, we can create a predictable pattern. Now obviously no one can guarantee anybody's success. If you get on the bridge but won't walk across, you're not going to be successful here, nor in probably any business. But the key is, our goal was if someone will do the work, that they get the reward. And I can tell you, I'm very proud of the Monavie team. I'm very proud of working with Dallin Larson, because he is a man of character. He's following through on his end and providing a world-class product, and the team is following through on their commitment of creating a bridge where people can get the results that they desire in this business. Now the question for you is, are you willing to do the work to build that bridge? If you build those relationships and help people and develop that leadership, developing people and systems, you too can accomplish your goals and dreams. We have such an opportunity here. The Monavie has provided a world-class product. The team has provided a world-class training system. Marrying those two together, I call it the peanut butter and chocolate equation. We've got the best chocolate, we've got the best peanut butter. Marrying those together, we're going to get the best results.